Okay, so good day class. So welcome to our Building Tech 4. So when you say building technology 4, so you're going to learn here how to make specifications and how to compute for the materials needed in the construction of a building or structure. So since we are starting the first half of our course with specification writing, so I'm going to familiarize you with the 16 divisions. Okay. I think you already did division 1 and 2, right? So we have division 1, which is the general requirements, and division 2, the site construction. Okay. But division 3 to 16 is something that the try to familiarize yourselves class how with the syntax of specification writing, because this is how you're going to do it, especially when you will be working for large firms in the future. Okay, so division 3 is about concrete. Division 4 is about masonry. Division 5 is about metals. Division 6 is about wood and plastics. Division 7 was about thermal and moisture protection. Division 8 is about doors and windows. Division 9 is about finishes. Division 10 is about specialties. Division 11 is about equipment. Division 12 is about furnishings. Division 13 is about special construction. Division 14 is about conveying systems. Division 15 is about mechanical. And Division 16 is about electrical. Now, this 16 divisions class in your specifications, the syntax is this way. Okay, so always try to remember. Okay, a good way to memorize this is to use by remember it by letters. For example, you have a G for general requirements, S for site construction, and C for concrete. Okay, though this is something that won't work as I'm going to post this PDF file in our group page for you to familiarize yourselves. Okay, then for example, when you say your specifications for concrete is different subsections. For example, you have basic concrete materials and methods, concrete forms and accessories, concrete reinforcement, cast in place concrete, precast concrete, cementitious decks and underlayment, grouts, mass concrete and concrete restoration and cleaning. So these are something that you need to specify. You need to be very comprehensive when you prepare your specifications. Okay. One thing to note last that specification uh, writing something that is already included in your building information modeling softwares. Okay, so that's the future that we are heading into right now. So right now, I think you're in third year, so you have a grasp of AutoCAD already. But AutoCAD class, it's already something that is becoming obsolete in the practice abroad. So they are going to the direction of building information modeling. So when you see building information modeling, use information to uh, derive the general plans, the general for holistic to derive a holistic overview of the building using information only. So when you design a building using BIM, the data that's going to be generated, it's not only about specifications. You're going to have a complete set of plans. Then you're going to have a complete set of project management documents. Okay, so that's the future of specification writing. But the most basic class, something that you're going to learn on this course. Okay, so when you prepare your specifications, they must be brief, concise, free from grammatical errors, and as specific as possibly needed. Okay, so another thing is that in specifications, you must also be familiar with the different brands of building materials in the Philippines. Familiar with what are the brands in the mechanical and electrical aspect, the plumbing, the roofing, the flooring laminated, the waterproofing, the glass, the insulation, and the panels. Okay. For example, glass and the plumbing materials, you must also be a good specification writer. You must be familiar with the different methodologies and how to do your pipes. Also, uh, right now there are different technologies which are available, which are leak proof. For example, you have fusion welding, wherein the pipes are welded so that it makes sure that the joints does not leak. Okay, that's something that you can specify for your project. Okay, and for the roofing, you can also specify different roofing materials, and you can also uh, specify something generic as long as it fits the your final outlook on the design. Okay, then you also have different paint finishes. Okay, you have example for latex, it's used for concrete. You have acrylic latex is used for timber and concrete. You have enamel, which is used for timber. Red oxide for steel and to prevent rust. Okay, so these are something that you must be already familiar with. I think this has been discussed in your lower building technologies, the use of enamel and latex. So when you do your specifications, when you say enamel, don't say that use enamel paint for concrete. So you already made a mistake in your specifications. Okay. So in specification writing, it is important that you have a knowledge of different building methodologies also. Okay. So, okay, so I think that's our lesson for the introduction to the different divisions for specification. Now let's move into our main lecture. Okay, so let's begin with this. So, what are construction specifications? So, construction specifications, also known as specs, detail the work and workmanship needed to complete a construction project. So, as required documents during the design phase, they're part of a formal process. So, according to the Dictionary of Architecture and Construction, specification is a written document describing in detail the scope of work, materials to be used, methods of installation, and quality of workmanship for a parcel of work to be placed. Okay, so these are what you call your construction specifications. So let me just make it bigger from current slide. Okay, okay. So they're usually utilized in conjunction with working drawings in building construction. When you say utilized in conjunction class, your construction specifications, they should harmonize with your drawings in building construction. So when you do your plans, um, it has to be um, connected to the specifications as well. Because if there's a problem with your drawing which is not in compliance with the specifications, then it's going to be a cause of some problems during the implementation of the work done. So what are okay? So furthermore, according to construction specifier. Okay, hello. Okay, I'll just adjust this one class. Okay, just wait. So what are construction specifications? According to the construction specifier, specification sections are customized in order to accurately describe intended materials, and then these sections are used by the team to identify types of products that should be used on site. Okay, let me change the screen. So I'm having some technical issues. Okay. So as mentioned, specifications are prepared before construction begins. Design phase as part of the contract documents. So Construction specification class are there, it should be something that should already be there before the start of the construction. It is not something that you do when you're already beginning the construction uh, of the building. So who handles construction specs? So specs are prepared by the architect or designers. Generally, architects will delegate them, but oftentimes project engineers will be involved due to their breadth of technical knowledge. Sometimes on large-scale projects, companies will even call for specialized and professional specification writers to ensure that all details are covered. Okay, so there are professional specification writer class that you can tap in your projects also, so that it will be more detailed and more detailed. So what's important here, class, is that you are aware of the general syntax in writing construction specifications. So although your construction specifications are separate from the design drawings, they should be complementary and in tandem. It means that they should be harmoniously done. Okay? There shouldn't be a conflict between your construction specifications and your design drawings. So why are specs important? So if you've been around the construction industry for more than a minute, you know the more details, the better. So the clearer description is, the more likely it will be executed clearly. The specifications can be considered a lot of like data. Without access to the right and an abundance of data, projects can easily fail. So as construction projects become more complex and budgets become scrutinized, access to ample data is critical to making the right decisions when building. More importantly, if specifications are done correctly, they reduce risk. Okay, so this is the primary reason, class, why you draw the construction plans in detail and why you draft your construction specifications. That is to reduce risk. To reduce the risk that the project will fail. Because if you already have a very detailed plan coupled with a specification that harmonizes with that plan and it's also very detailed, then you have lesser risk in the implementation of the project. So specification particularly important for the tender prices for bidding. So when you bid last your specifications, it will be one of the documents which will be based by the bidder on the price of the project. Okay. So main types of construction specifications, you have the prescriptive, which provides details on the type of materials and installations needed to complete the project. So, additionally, prescriptive specifications are also describe how to measure installations to ensure they're up to project quality and standards. Then you have your performance. You describe the operational requirements. Okay, fundamentally, performance specifications slash you describe a certain performance, then but the contractor will be the one to propose the final product or material to be used. Okay, so when you say prescriptive, you already provided the brand name and what to be used specifically. When you say performance, you write how a specific material should perform before it can be allowed in your project. Okay. So it's really up to you whether you choose prescriptive or you choose performance specification. So it's like the difference between generic and branded drugs. When you say branded, there's a specific brand for it. But when you say generic, what's important is that it performs, it has the same performance as those branded drugs uh, when you buy from the pharmacy. Okay. Then you have also the proprietary. So it is not very common. So proprieties specific in areas if only a specific product can be used for an installation. So how can specifications be improved. So construction specifications will no doubt need dedicated time and resources to get them right. In general, the design phase is critical to setting up the success of a project, and specs should be taken seriously. In the past, specifications were one of the last items to be written before the tender. However, this is changing as the industry faces increased competition and technology like BIM provides a better analysis of what needs to be done before construction begins. Specifications have increased in importance. Okay, so like what I've said earlier, there's already your BIM, your building information modeling. Okay, it makes here in the Philippines, last you say that manual drafting is already outdated compared to AutoCAD. But when you go to other countries, when you work for bigger firms, when you use AutoCAD, it's already equivalent of manual drafting because you already use BIM, building information modeling. So data is used to describe on how what the project should look like, how big it should be, then what are the type of materials should be used. Okay, so when you draw a plan in using a BIM software, once you do the plan, it also generates the elevations and the details, also the specifications of the types of products which will be used. Okay, so you will already be setting up the brand of lighting to be used. Okay, how its performance should be measured. What are the brands for the air conditioning units? What are the brands for the tiles or net sizes? So it's already described once you use BIM. Okay, so I think that's it left for this week. So like what I've said, I think I have been receiving a lot of messages from students, not only from this section but on other subjects as well, that they're having facing difficulties, especially during this pandemic season. So like what I've said, we're going to have a lecture this week, but I need you to comment your name and section in the video below, then give a brief reflection on the future of specification writing in relation to BIM or building information modeling. Okay, so stay safe, class, and then don't forget to follow government regulations and guidelines during this pandemic. Okay, so see you next week and thank you.